Yes. Hello, my name is Craig Bell, and I am your student's teacher. I'm sorry I can't be here in person, but this is the next best thing I got. I look forward to getting back to the classroom hopefully on September 2nd. The only thing is if there are any complications with what's going on, that I might have to stay out a little bit longer. However, that's my plan, is to be back on the 2nd. So welcome. And I'm doing this video. Mr. Powers put this in front of him because I think it's important for you guys to hear from me what I have to say, and for me to invite you to communicate with me to what you have to say. And that being said, this video is for all of the classes. I'm teaching 3 different courses this semester or this year. I'm teaching MYP AP, MYP non-AP, and I'm teaching English 2 honors. So I'm going to be covering a lot of stuff over the course of, well, not a lot, but the next 8 minutes about what's going on in my courses. So this is for all of my parents. Most of it's about communication and assessments and things like that, which I can cover for all of you. If in this video, I'm looking over my notes, if in this video there's something like I want more specific information, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm happy to address that. Again, hopefully the week of the 2nd, I'm back in action to be able to do that. Communication's key. I find that communication is really important for us as educators, and as educators of students, with parents. So for us to be able to communicate well, my main platforms are Google Classroom, Focus, and email. We'll talk about that just a little bit. This year I'm trying something new, and I'm welcoming and encouraging any feedback on this. In Google Classroom, I'm formatting the weeks 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth. But for many of the days, what I'm doing is I have a digital recorder for the class, recording what's going on in the class, and then submitting or uploading a summary of what happened in the class onto Google Classroom. It is a document, a Word doc, for you or your students to see. And for many of the classes throughout the week, not all of them, because like for example, today we did a timed writing for me, like a diagnostic writing, and there was no reason for me to do that summary of diagnostic writing. So, but yesterday we worked on rhetorical analysis and whatnot, so that was an important one to have. Please engage in that and look at it. Give me any feedback of what you might think. I am open to constructive criticism. It's something new I'm doing, but I'm finding with a lot of the truancy, a lot of the students who are missing classes, and not just because of frivolous reasons, doctor's appointments, high-level sports where you're going on to tournaments and things of that nature. What do I miss in class? What did I miss in class? I'm trying to look for an opportunity or way to provide a more comprehensive understanding of what happened in class, because you can't get everything in class. So this is a recording. It is then transcribed, and then AI does a summary, and then I go through and kind of filter any kind of silliness or inconsequential information from it, and then upload that. So it is AI generated. It's not my voice. It is AI. So another thing I'm looking to do is educate the students on maybe productive ways of using AI or engaging in AI. I find that this might be one of those, or maybe it's not. Maybe you look at it and as parents, you suggest that, this really isn't helpful for us. But if it is, please let me know. And if it's not, maybe what I could do to improve that would help me too. That with communication, I am more than happy to communicate with you and your students. And I'm more than happy to get communication from you and your students. The best way to do that is email. You're welcome to call. The light flashes, I answer. It's more cumbersome than email. I get here in the morning, I check my email, I check my email before I leave. That's really the most productive way for us to communicate. I prefer, and it seems like it's more streamlined, if rather than going through Focus, that works, but we're finding with some of the new additions or detractions from Focus, our communication back and forth isn't as seamless as maybe it has been. bell.craig@brevardschools.org on your email. Send that to me, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. That being said, if you communicate to me and you've not heard back from me in 24 hours, send me another email. It got lost in the shuffle. I get so many emails on a daily basis, and most of them are really inconsequential, and I want to make sure that I address your issues. But in addressing your issues, I would also suggest and encourage you with your students who, in my classes, whether it's from English Honors, English 2 Honors up to AP, I have students who are 15 to 18 years old in my classes. At this time, I suggest that it's really beneficial for the students, if they have a question, if they have an issue, if there's something going on, encourage them to come talk to me. This is a wonderful tool, a wonderful time, and I think a safe place for students to be able to come in and communicate with adults, communicate with their teachers or coaches or whomever, and see if they can't work it out. Now, I am not in any way, shape, or form suggesting that parents should not be involved. Absolutely, you should. I'm just wanting those students, especially those who might be a little hesitant, to encourage them to come in and communicate with me to rectify any issues that they might have or any confusion they might have on an assignment or something. So, that being said, if you find that resolution is not found, please reach out. I have no qualms with that. Now, resolution, as I am well aware of, and I'm sure you are also, doesn't mean we all get what we want, but hopefully any kind of resolution is able to be justified, to be fair, to be equitable, and to take all parties and all stakeholders into consideration when dealing with this. So communicate, encourage your students to come in and communicate, but absolutely, if you have questions, don't hesitate to communicate with me. Email is the best way. Going to my notes. Assessments. So let's talk about assessments. There are multiple assessments that are occurring this year. For 10th grade students, which is the majority of my students, we have the progress monitoring PM1, 2, and 3. PM1 happened on Tuesday. Today's actually Thursday, the 21st, so it's happening next Tuesday for my world right now, but when you're seeing this, it will have happened last Tuesday. That's the first progress monitoring. I take that information and then determine any gaps that the students might have as a whole or individually, and how to maybe fill those gaps to prepare them to score better on PM2 and then PM3 in the end, which is the one that counts towards graduation. That being said, many of the students I have are in the 4s and 5s and scoring out of the scale of 1 to 5. My goal is to have everybody improve. That's it. So that's where I take that information. The 10th graders will be taking PSAT this year. And for my AP students, I have 3 sections of AP, be taking the AP exam. I have found that my course provides a platform for students to be successful in the AP exam. I am an AP reader. I'm a table leader for College Board during the summertime for the essays. And I think I come to this role with a skill set that allows the students to be successful. And that proves, I think we had about 88% pass rate last year. And with 10th graders, that's really, for the majority of 10th graders, very strong. It's a very strong showing for them. So we'll have that. That happens in May. And then for the juniors, there is the SAT, or any seniors who might be taking it as well. There's a couple of seniors and juniors taking those. We'll bump up the SAT scores for you also. But those are the majority of the assessments, like state or outside of my class assessments. But let's talk a little bit about the grading in my class. I have 3 sections of grading. I have participation, daily grades, and a mastery grade. Participation grades like the syllabus that you signed, that would be a participation grade. Daily grades are quizzes and things like that, the things that they're doing right now as I'm gone, daily grades. And mastery grades are exams, tests, or final items. Students will have a ton of time to prepare for the mastery, and that's showing their mastery of the subject. I'll make sure I get through all the main stuff. Before I get to that, I want to make sure that I touch on doing well on the assessments And one of the things I'm finding that for the students who do the work in the class and show up, are engaged, their pass rates and their improvement is fantastic. Those who miss a lot of school tend to struggle with doing that, or who aren't engaged or who aren't turning in the work. They struggle with that. If there's an issue with any of this, let's talk about that and deal with it sooner than later. To end, and I think I'm a little over my time. To end, my initial engagement with these students has been fantastic. What a great group of kids. And I really foresee a fantastic year. So since I'm out of time, I covered the stuff I needed to cover, and I'm running out of time. I got to get out of here. Thank you very much. If you need me, communicate. Thank you again for sending me some wonderful kids. And I look forward to talking to you and working with you and your students all year long. Thank you. Bye.